What is this antique with a flexible rod at the end found in a collection of antiques? I'm at a local history museum and the staff has no ideas. The end has a ring on a flexible rod and the body is firm with two deep stylized notches. The piece on the end is leather and somewhat supple rather than hardened leather, and the brass fittings on the body appear to exhibit stress from use. I'm thinking the ring at the end of the thin flexible rod must be strung to the notches or something else and pulled inward. The center fitting sits over a bored hole in the main body and is loose, most likely from use versus purpose. It's too pretty and clean for an animal trap, we're guessing. Perhaps the leather is designed to house something, maybe to attach something with string to an item? Still a mystery. Do you have any ideas on what this could be? It's a samurai arrow quiver from the Edo period between 1603 and 1867. Here's a complete set sold for $3,800 US. It's an open type of quiver for carrying arrows, finely made of carved wood with iron fittings and a lacquer finish. Kyudo, or the art of archery, was practiced in battle and in hunting. What is this hammer-looking object with a knurled lower handle found at a thrift store? The top drill-shaped part rotates a bit, and the knob-shaped part spins. Any ideas? It's a ratcheting pipe reamer. It cleans burr from cutting off of the inside of the pipe. It was patented on April 17, 1934, by Ross P. Wright of Erie, Pennsylvania for the Reed Manufacturing Company. Typically, with the pipe held horizontally in a pipe vise at about waist height, one would insert the reamer and then lean into the knob with one's hip, thigh, groin, or abdomen to apply some force, and then turn it several times to remove the burr. What is this block on hinge in the floor of an old home built around 1912? It sits below the floor. Inside there are rollers, and there's also another one opposite a wall from it. It's about 8 inches long and 4 inches wide. I think the place is a bunch of apartments that have been converted into hotel rooms. I looked up old house block hinge with spinning rollers, but I really don't know what else to look for. Does anyone have an idea? We figured it out. My brother-in-law came over and managed to figure it out immediately. He fixed it so that the rollers touched each other, and by closing the hinge, it made a pedal. You can press that, then opens the pocket door between the kitchen and the dining room. So I guess it's if you have full hands, you could open the door to the kitchen. Ta-da! Because in the old times, people were ashamed of their kitchen and didn't let guests see it. What is this wooden tool with a small mirror on a sliding wooden arm? My mother-in-law found this in a box of her father's belongings. He was an artist and also spent a lot of time on his boat off the coast of Florida. Around 3.25 inches long, 1 inch wide, 5/8 inch thick, and around 17 grams. No writing or symbols anywhere on it, and it feels like teak. There's a little brush circle opposite the mirror, and a protrusion on the sliding arm for your thumb, so it appears intended for one-handed use. Any help would be appreciated. It's a vintage tool for cleaning record player needles, made during the 1970s. I still have one of these. It's part of a disc washer set that came with a brush for cleaning vinyl, a bottle of fluid, and an anti-static gun that was supposed to reduce static electricity. The mirror is used to examine the stylus, and the brush is used to clean it off. What is this thing I found in the woods in my backyard? It has 2 pull balls, and there's something that isn't rusting on the inside. Approximately 6 by 6 by 2 inches, and the other side is just flat. Likely it's not dangerous, but I was a bit hesitant to clean it to get better pics. Any ideas? It's the base of an antique Florence 2-burner sad iron heater stove, manufactured by the Central Oil and Gas Stove Company in Gardner, Massachusetts, circa 1920s. These types of stoves were available starting in the 1880s. One advantage was you didn't have to heat your big stove and heat up the whole house. When you iron with a sad iron, you use a hot one, while another is heating up. The front of each unit has a mica window to see the flame. What is this cast iron thing found inside of a concrete wall above an old coal bin? Inside a piece of concrete about this big. My guess is that it is from the mid to late 1800s, because that is when the building was built. It says WINN, SM Company, Chicago, USA. Can you please help me identify what this thing is? It's the pedal from an 1870s Wilson sewing machine. The Wilson Sewing Machine Company was originally based in Cleveland. In 1875, the company moved to Chicago. It was embedded in the concrete, and I think I know why. Scrap metal was used as rebar. I have seen it happen before in building foundations from this general era. Our old turn-of-the-century barn foundation had regular rebar, mule shoes, and reciprocating mower bars in it, which were gradually revealed as it crumbled. So that could be the full identity and explanation. What waterfall in New York is this? Let's solve this 161-year-old mystery. The photo is from the National Archives and is just captioned as Unnamed Falls in New York. I've been to a lot of falls in New York, but it doesn't look terribly familiar. This is a Civil War era photograph. The people in the photo are foreign dignitaries from France, Germany, Britain, Russia, etc. Any ideas? That's the Trenton Falls, a waterfall on West Canada Creek in Trenton, New York. In 1863, the United States Secretary of State, William H. Seward, held a meeting of diplomats at the Trenton Falls Hotel. Once a vacation spot for the country's elite, the falls were all but closed to the public for 100 years by the various power companies that used the waterway to generate electricity. The falls was and used to produce hydro-generated electricity beginning in the early 20th century and continues to do so today. I found this in eastern Lincolnshire, England around 40 years ago, sitting in a tree in the middle of the woods where I used to live. I brought it home and no one knew what it was. I packaged it up for years until I moved to the US when I found it again and have been trying to find out about it. It's around 2.5 inches tall, 5.5 inches long, 3 inches deep, and weighs about 1 pound. It's just a little bigger than a medium coffee cup, and it looks like it used to be brass. The top lid is threaded and still works well. The inside is a metal strainer and isn't removable, and the bottom is solid. Besides the top coming off, this is a very solid piece of metal with no other openings. Any idea what this could be? It's the disperser from Captain John Jekyll's patent vapor bath from between 1820 to 1880. This was an attempt to create a portable version of this ancient therapy that was practiced in both Eastern and Western civilizations. He boasted effectiveness against cholera, yellow fever, rheumatism, gout, and pulmonary disorders. The receptacle for heating the water is made of brass and copper. The whole apparatus could be dismantled, and it includes a gown and stool. What is this thing? Approximately 4 feet long, made of mostly metal, but the poles are wood, and the hand crank on it turns every cog. The only visible markings say it was patented on August 20th, 1901. I tried to find it, but the only matching images are from old eBay posts that have been taken down. What would this be used for? Please tell us down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.